Ageism is a real problem in the job search, and according to these studies, anyone over 45 years old is at risk. Now, I know this is not fair, but we need to learn how to protect ourselves from ageism when we're job searching, and that's exactly what we're going to do in this video. We are going to go over how to hide our age in our resume. We'll cover some outdated job search behaviors that might show our age. And we're going to discuss how to alleviate concerns that a hiring manager might have regarding our age in an interview. And just so everyone knows they are not alone, it would mean a lot to me and everyone else watching if you could comment a yes or a no down below to let us know if you've ever faced some sort of ageism at some point in your career. So how does one hide our age on a resume? Well, here is a resume that needs some help, so I'll walk you through exactly how to do this. So first thing we want to check is, do we have our birth year in our email address? If so, we'll need a new email address. Next, we are going to remove the dates from our education. This is something that people will use to do the math, assuming that maybe you finished your bachelor's degree around age 22. So we definitely don't want that in there, especially if it's not in the last 10 years or so. And then one more thing, I know this one will hurt for some of us, but we need to get rid of any experience that is over 20 years old. Once we go back into the 1990s especially, we are really going to raise some eyebrows around how long that we are going to be likely to stay in this job. So I know this might be painful, but anything from 20 years ago or more has got to go. If you are enjoying this video, my friends, and you're finding it valuable, take a second now to like and subscribe so you don't miss all of my awesome job search content that I'm putting out here every single week on YouTube. Now let's continue with this great advice. So there are a few more things that we might end up doing in our resumes or in our job search that don't directly tell them how old we are, but because they're old-fashioned, out-of-date practices, we'll kind of give them an idea as to our age. The first two we're going to talk about exist in the resume. The first one, I couldn't even bring myself to create a sample of this because it's so painfully out of date. An objective statement. We do not want an objective statement in our resume. This is not something that's been relevant for a long time. Instead, we use something like a professional summary. The idea here is to focus more on what we can do for them as opposed to what they can do for us. The other little piece that we have to cut out of our resume these days, because it is old-fashioned, is just references available upon request. The reason being, they know. They'll ask for references when they want them. The third out-of-date practice that I see a lot of older job seekers use is creating a cover letter that is full of paragraphs. So as you can see, the paragraph-based cover letter on the left, this is something we would see in the 1990s, 2003, what have you. On the right, we have a nice, well laid out, scannable cover letter that is more applicable for today's hiring manager because they don't have time to read a whole slew of paragraphs. They want to quickly get through, see what your best skills are here, see what your highlights are, and get out. So this is a much better cover letter for today's job seeker. Now, at some point in this process, the hiring manager is very likely to meet you or at least see your face over a video call, at which time they'll have a better idea of roughly how old we are. Now, I have seen a lot of people make it this far following all the advice on resumes and cover letters, only to fall short because they didn't address some concerns that hiring managers tend to have, whether they're spoken or unspoken, about hiring someone who is a little further along in their career. So here are a few concerns that hiring managers have, and once again, these are usually completely unfounded, but it is helpful for us to speak to them anyway. So number one, they're worried they're going to put in all this effort to hire you, train you, get you up to speed, and then you're going to retire. So in the interview, or whenever we get a chance to meet them, we want to mention that we're looking for a place to build a satisfying, fulfilling career that we're going to hold on to for the next 5 to 10 years. Number two, again, almost entirely unfounded, is that you are not going to be available to work regularly due to health reasons. So something we can do to alleviate this, and I feel so sad we even have to say this, but it is helpful, just mentioning some physical activity or other healthy behaviors that we like to do, whether that's yoga, whether it's the fact that we're a vegetarian, something that people associate with health is just a nice little piece to put in their head that we are healthy, we're going to be available. I really hate that we have to talk about this. It is so not fair. The third thing is that they are sometimes worried you're not going to be able to relate to and connect connect with the younger staff on the team. Now, in my experience, the most important thing that we can demonstrate here in this situation is that we are willing to listen and we can hold a great conversation and engage with the people who are hiring us. So this is something we're just going to demonstrate in the interview. We are going to ask them questions. We're going to listen to their questions, answer effectively. We just need to show strong communication skills to put this one at ease. And number 3, they might be worried that we are not cool, we are not up on the times, we're not able to keep up with trends. The easiest way to put this at ease, although it seems ridiculous, is to just dress appropriately, dress well for the interview. So one of the things I recommend doing, if you have someone in your life who is fashionable, just ask them to help you pick out an interview outfit. This will go a long way in just putting the hiring manager at ease that we are someone who's going to be able to make an effort to relate, understand trends, and this will go a long way to helping the hiring manager see that we are going to put in an effort to understand and stay up on trends, and that is all we really need to do at this point. Now, something important to consider is that these tips and tricks are only useful if the rest of your resume and cover letter are awesome and you appear on paper to be someone that they want to interview and they want to hire. So check out my other videos on resume and cover letter writing so you can make sure your resume and cover letter are 10 out of 10 so that you get invited to these interviews and can speak to the hiring manager, win them over, and land that great new job. I'll see you over there.